So I'm detransitioning. I thought this was the place to announce it. It's not because I'm not trans, it's just that I'm detransitioning to a dyke because we're in difficult times and dykes get shit done. Like, trans men are helpful, but dykes do shit. Like, dykes built the Hoover Dam. They didn't, but you believe me. We're in weird times. Definitely some sort of revolution is coming. We can feel it. And here's my thing, is that we're going to get rid of most of the billionaires. But there's going to be some we can't get to, and we're going to have to punish them somehow. And I'd like to nominate that we punish them by making them work customer service. I think it'd be great. I work at a restaurant for fun, and the restaurant I work at, unfortunately, caters to the wealthy with food sensitivities. And one time, a man asked where his toast was, and very elderly man, but very rich. And I said, it is being cooked in the kitchen. And I turned around and left and turned back around, and he had gotten up and walked into the kitchen to check on his toast. Which I couldn't tell if it was the entitlement or the dementia, but he was sure back there, and I would just love to see Bezos deal with that. I was talking to my friend, therapist, partner, and we were talking, this was at the beginning of our relationship, about like what we would like to learn in our relationship, how we'd like to grow. And I said I would like to learn to be more trusting. And they asked me, well, why don't you think you could be trusting? And I was like, well, historically, I've just been so gullible that I think that I decided to kind of like stop trusting altogether. And they were like, do you think that our society maybe devalues trust so much that they labeled it gullibility? I'd believe it. I don't know the answer to that. But I do know that I have been so gullible that one time I fell for the dollar on a fishing line trick. I don't know if you've ever seen a cartoon, but it's where someone attaches a dollar bill to a fishing pole and some idiot chases it down the street. I was that idiot. And I used to live in Chicago, and I was walking around a sports neighborhood, which was my fault. And I saw a dollar bill on the ground, and I was like, my lucky day. So I went for it. And then it started to move. I was like, oh no. I went after it. And then it moved again. I was like, oh my. And then it moved quicker, so I started to run. I was like, my money. At which point I heard laughter from above me, and I looked up, and there was a Cubs fan sitting on a rooftop, dragging it down the street with a fishing pole. And I was so embarrassed that I immediately ran into a brick wall painted like a tunnel to get out of there. I actually went off of testosterone because I started to lose hair, and it turns out I'm more vain than I am transgender, and couldn't do it. But now that I look like this, people don't know how, like, how I read to people changes state to state. And in LA, people mostly see me as a dude, but when I go to the Midwest, I get called little lady, which I think says more about the women of the Midwest than it does myself. But here in LA, I get called big dog, which I think says more about the men of Los Angeles. All right, thank you guys so much.